I'm here today, and I want to have a conversation about social/human rights issues and political issues, and how closely they're intertwined. I'm sitting here today with my trusty water pipe that I'm going to put some medicine into, and I'm going to smoke it. Medicine that I walked into a store and was able to buy, using a little card that the state says I'm allowed to have this. I need it. All right, there's patient numbers and all that. Terpene contents. Good information. Now, here in Baltimore City, they don't prosecute cannabis arrests. Say they don't. But they're still making them. Right? Now, in Baltimore City, 95% of cannabis-related arrests are perpetrated against black people. Here in Baltimore, you can go to the Towson Courthouse for your possession charge for having your medicine on you, being black in an area that you're likely to get chased by police just for making eye contact with them. You walk out of your court date after spending the night in jail, and while you're walking out of the courthouse, there's a white woman walking out of the dispensary literally across the street. You walk out of the courthouse, you cross the street, there's a dispensary. A corporate dispensary at that. They're a multi-state operator. They've been in many states. They have multiple locations in every state. Cindy walks out with her cannabis, her vape carts, whatever the fuck she's using, while black man, brown man, had to walk out from getting arrested, spending the night in jail, fucking up his future, potentially forever, putting him into a system that we know is going to give a harsher penalty to him than his lighter-hued counterpart. That's an absolute fact. Same judges, same crimes, same scenarios, lighter hue, lesser sentence. Numbers don't lie. So now, I know what you're saying. How is this political? Right, well, it's political. Think about the amount of lobbying that had to be done for the prison system to be able to have these harsher sentences that, even as a byproduct, we'll say benefit of the doubt, byproduct, black people are more likely to get arrested for it. Right? We look at prison groups that lobby politicians to push for bills that serve their agendas, such as a bill that gives harsher penalties for nonviolent crimes, that gives the police the ability to do whatever they want to make these arrests and play their part in the system, that we know are only in certain areas of these places. It's not the whole city, it's just parts of it. They don't police Canton the same way they police fucking Sandtown. That's a fact. And so, when laws are literally written around the interest of companies who benefit from people staying in jail longer, right? I don't see how it's not a political issue. It's not a political issue and not a human rights issue. It's a human rights issue, but it stems from political issues. If you want to have real human rights, well, let's look at the Bill of Rights. For example, you're telling me it's a human rights issue, but not a political issue. Okay, our Bill of Rights, which says what we're allowed, what we as Americans have for freedom, our Bill of Privileges say in the 13th Amendment, which you're saying, man, slavery was fucking abolished with the 13th Amendment, brother. Was it? This is America, and every fucking contract's got some fine print. And in the case of the 13th Amendment, it says that all men are free, except for felons. That's why felons can't vote. They don't have a voice. They're a felon. They couldn't follow the rules. No. Right? They can't get jobs. They can't get involved in commerce, which is what America's fucking built on. Capitalistic democracy. Pay a fucking attention. Because the reality is that I don't fucking vote in the presidential race. They're too far gone, too bought off. Doesn't work the same way. But I will say that if you are somebody that is going to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, I would say that you're a racist and that you don't give a fuck about black lives. How could you? How could you say Black Lives Matter and I'm voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who literally at some of the highest levels perpetuate a system that oppresses fucking black people? How do you say to me, Elliot, I donated money to Black Lives Matter's organization, which is an Act Blue charity that gives all of its money to the Democratic fucking convention. Andrew Yang's fucking campaign was paid for by that shit. Bernie, Kamala, fucking Joey, all of them. You're helping align their pockets to serve their interest, which is literally give Joe Biden in 94, militarizing police. Kamala Harris, it is a literal proven fact that she has paid witnesses to lie on the stand to get convictions against non-violent people who didn't even commit the fucking crime. And you think that voting for those people is going to make a change? If Joe Biden had the fucking answers, why didn't he give them to Barack? If Kamala Harris had the answers, why did nobody want to fucking vote for her? We're not even going to talk about the flip-flopping that comes along with her saying that she believed Joe Biden's accusers. Now that she got offered to be VP, she doesn't give a fuck about the people that he is being accused of raping or sexually assaulting. I don't know what, all of the details. But she suddenly stopped believing them? Or she believes them still, but like, we'll deal with that because, hey, VP. Right? Like, when you have people that are putting bills into law, I'm just a bill on Capitol fucking Hill, getting these bills passed into law to benefit their buddies who paid for their fucking campaigns, you don't see how that's a political issue? It is a human rights issue that they literally built into the fucking system. The rules and policies and procedures of America keep fucking people of color down. And now, it is most apparent. I mean, for me, I believe it's more rich and poor. But the reality is that black people in America face much more poverty per capita. And when they are put into a system that literally says they are no longer citizens, i.e. prison, slavery. Yo, do you have homies that have done prison time? Their mindset is different when they come out after a long bid. Right? And to say that that shit is not slavery is fucking absurd. So, when you say to me, Black Lives Matter, right, which is like it sounds to me, all I think of is when Obama was running for president, change and hope, and yes, we can. That shit sounded great. Sounded fucking great. But how did these things get impacted? How did these issues that are human rights issues that have been implemented into our system, creating a systemic problem? If their politicians are not fighting to change those, then why the fuck are you voting for them? Like, the shit makes no sense to me. I got blocked because I wanted to have a conversation with somebody. This conversation. I couldn't have it with them. They blocked me because it's a human rights issue and not a political issue. But it is a political issue because political policies are written that force these things to be. They would not exist without these policies that the politicians that we vote in make. Because you're willing to take a lesser of two evils. No, motherfucker. Don't vote for them. Motherfucker. This shit is absurd, dude. You know? And I don't care who likes this, who doesn't like it. Right? Because I've been going to protests for a long time. Social issues are fucking important to me. I'm somebody that cares about humanity. I'm scared for the future that my kids will grow up in. I don't know what this America looks like. My name has been Elliot America on Facebook since I was like 16 years old. Because I love this fucking country. I love the era that we've been in. But I'm like real scared for what the future looks like for my children. And so I'm going to speak what's on my mind. And I've always stood up for what I believe in. That's absolute fact. I've been going to protests since I was 14. You know, these protests and rallies that I've been going to this year, for all the shit that's been jumping off, you know, that shit's been about for the gram for people. I see it, and they can say it's not, but like, yo, when you're live streaming a protest, first of all, you're putting people's faces on camera that they may not want their faces on camera. And if you think that shit's not real, I know everyone saw that article about the fucking girl that bought a shirt on Etsy that threw a Molotov cocktail and they traced that shit back to her Etsy review. Based on the t-shirt she was wearing and a picture that somebody else posted. Somebody dry snitched on this girl by posting her picture. And y'all are out here posting dates, times, addresses, and locations. I'm sorry, but you gotta go old school. And I'm sorry, when I watch WBAL interviewing this fucking little tiny midget that was dressed out of a fucking scene of Mad Max, and I overheard that shit floated into my ear. So how do you feel being at a Black Lives Matter protest as a white man? What is that like? And I said, inside my mind was like, keep walking, don't say anything. And I turned around and I said, yo, don't answer that fucking question. You look like a fucking clown. This shit ain't about you. Direct them to somebody who it is the fuck about. And they tried to put the camera on me and I just went, and turned around and walked the fuck away. And I was giving out pre-rolls for peace. A commitment to nonviolence because I could feel with how many undercover police were there. And there were a lot. When I was walking around, I was walking behind the protest and you could see who was cutting down what streets to come around and try to cut off the protest and act like they were kind of involved. But I got some of that shit on camera. I didn't post it because I didn't edit anything. Some of that shit's raw. I even had a conversation with a guy who was pretending like he wasn't involved in the shit. Like he wasn't a fucking cop. And you could tell every cop, they all had two phones. They had one in their hand and one in their pocket. And you could see that shit. It was weird. So like, when protests are controlled, when protests are like there is controlled opposition within the protest. I'm standing there talking to a group of people in my community, right? Some people that hang out over at the Why Not lot regularly, and that I know in passing, that I occasionally give some bucks to, pass a J to, whatever. I was talking to them. We're sitting there. Out of a white van jumps a 22-year-old girl of a lighter hue from where I sat, based on my own external judgments. Hadn't seemed like she'd been through a lot of racial injustice. She said, "Oh my God, do you guys need signs? Can you guys make sure that you hold them up, hold them up, hold them up?" And all the signs that she just handed me and the 4 people I was talking to, they all said, "I'm a victim of police brutality." Why the fuck did she have those signs? Why did she have a bunch of those signs? It was confusing to me. Right? I was here in 2015 for the Baltimore Uprising. I refuse to call it a riot because it was not that. Keep in mind, during the Baltimore Uprising, you know who was breaking into pharmacies and stealing meds? Police. The Gun Trace Task Force, guys like that. And that shit's an absolute fact. Look it the fuck up, Sergeant Jenkins, who's now trying to get out of federal prison because of COVID and because he helped some dude not get killed in there. Fuck you. Like, let me calm it back down. You know, it's hard for me because I want to be out there. I want to help people. I've always wanted to help people. Mind you, at one point I was in the street. At one point, I was begging for money. Every time I see somebody, there's a feeling in the pit of the fucking gut of my stomach where it all comes flooding back. You know, I mean, shit, when you see people that you've known since you were 6 begging for change on Martin Luther King in Pennsylvania, you know shit ain't changed out there. And you see people who are literally you begging for $1. And you can't give them $1 because you know they're going to shoot dope with it. So you try to stay prepared with a fucking granola bar or some bottled water. But like, other than a dap and a, "Hey man, I hope all's good," that's what it is. So I know, based on the fact that I've been there, I've been at a point of 0, less than 0, scum in society's eyes. And I got people, I have been a victim of police brutality. And I got some girl trying to give out signs. This shit's fucking absurd to me, man. None of it makes sense. You know, and it's hard not to like, you push people away with that shit. When you're not willing to have an open-minded conversation and really look at the absolute facts, because what do we do about it? Where do we go from here? I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I kind of want to run for city council president. Maybe not president, but for city council. Who knows? Right? Get involved in your local level, because people are quick to go vote for a fucking, for a president, but not vote for, don't know shit about the judges. They don't know shit about the fucking city council. They don't know shit about the mayor. They don't know shit about any of these people. Sheila Dixon almost won again after stealing a couple $100,000 in gift cards. She used to use them joints at my Zoomies. I didn't know that they were stolen. I wouldn't have accepted them. But the point being, like, stand the fuck up, dude. If you're going to talk a big game and you want to talk about fucking social issues, political issues, human rights issues, understand the whole fucking system before you do. Don't just block somebody who's trying to help you or have an intelligent conversation one way or the other. Because shit, you might have some perspective or some information that I don't, and I might need to hear it. But when you just block me, you seem like you're a little bitch. So then you can keep going on with this little fucking fantasy, right? Let me guess. You put a little sign in your window that says Black Lives Matter. To me, that shit is like some, if there's an uprising, you're just looking to have a fucking, You're just having something, hey, I'm an ally. Hey, don't break into my house. Don't destroy my property. That's what that looks like to me. Right? You ain't really about the things that you're talking about. You haven't been on the front lines. You don't know what it is to live a life committed to being true to yourself and true to what's right. And now, because that shit's cool, like, what the fuck has Mercedes-Benz done for Black Lives Matter? What are they doing? Why aren't they in the streets giving everybody a fucking Jetta? On the topic of local elections, I saw Kim Klacik. Bruh. I'm getting involved. She has a plan to fucking let drug dealers have 1 year amnesty, stack up their bread, and buy up all 17,000 vacant homes in Baltimore and fix them up. You got a year. Get your bag and no fucking... You're good. Just fucking go from street dude to investor. Go from street dude to businessman. Make the transition. That's how you fucking make change. That's how you do something different. That's how you fucking find a way to get the shit done. But honestly, until all people are let out for cannabis, we still got slavery. Black lives don't matter. If you're voting for Joe Biden, black lives don't matter to you. If you're voting for Donald Trump, they probably don't matter to you either. But if you're somebody that says they do, stop sitting behind your fucking Instagram and go actually do something. And then don't post it on Instagram just so that you can fucking show people, hey, I'm doing this shit. I'm helping people. Just fucking do it, man. Without an expectation of reward. Because it ain't fucking about you or your fucking ego. So today, I want you to sit in the fucking mirror and ask yourself, with whatever you're doing, whether it's social, political, for yourself, emotional, spiritual, what part is my ego playing right now? How can I do something else for someone else? My dad used to say, Elliot, you got to do one thing every day for someone. And if they find something nice, and if they find out that it doesn't fucking count, I don't get it. I don't do it every day. But I try. And it's cool. I fall short. But I want to know. I need to ask myself, is this my ego looking for some gratification when I do something nice for somebody? Is it myself saying, oh, bro, that's going to make you feel good. Go do it. Right? Or is it truly from a place of, damn, I understand this person. I can empathize. How can I actually help them? Right? Help your fucking self and help somebody else. Have a good fucking day.